Hey everyone, this is the box for a very cool 4K webcam called the YoloCam S3. It's a really portable, lightweight solution. It's really easy to use and it can record at 4K at 30 frames per second or 1080p at 60 frames per second. And I'm recording with it right now because if I click here, I'll switch over to my Sony FX30. And this is it here. This is the camera. It's got a magnetic mount. You can change it easily, vertically, horizontally, whatever you prefer. And if I switch back to the YoloCam, you'll see my Sony FX30 over there. And if I hold it here, you'll be able to see, hey, this is what it's like when I'm moving around with it. So the camera was kindly sent out to me by its parent company, YoloLiv. And I do appreciate companies that help support the channel, but this video is not sponsored and they have no influence on what I think or what I see in this video. But without further ado, let's take a closer look at the YoloCam S3 and see what this 4K webcam is all about. The YoloCam S3 is the latest webcam from YoloLiv, a company that is known for their vast range of streaming hardware and software. Retailing at $199, it boasts a large 1/1.3-inch CMOS sensor, fast phase detection autofocus, AI-enhanced imaging, pro-level color grading, and more. YoloLiv make a big point in their marketing about how big the camera's sensor is compared to other webcams on the market, boasting about the webcam's low light performance and the fact that it doesn't overheat. The YoloCam S3 is a UVC webcam, which means it's a plug-and-play solution that is compatible with modern operating systems and applications. The main sensor has an effective focal length of 24mm, a field of view of 82 degrees, and an ISO range of 100 to 12,800. At 4K it can record up to 30 frames per second, and at 1080p it can record up to 60 frames per second. The main feature that the YoloCam S3 lacks is a built-in microphone. This is not something that concerns me, as I've reviewed dozens of webcams over the years and their microphones are always notoriously bad, but it is something you should be aware of before purchasing the webcam. When you open up the main box, you will see two boxes inside. The smaller box includes the webcam and a flexible magnetic webcam mount which has a built-in tripod thread. The camera itself feels premium. It's a small webcam, so its large camera sensor dominates the front with a Type-C port around the back. In the larger box, you will find a product manual, a USB Type-A to Type-C adapter, and a long Type-C to Type-A connection cable. I weighed the YoloCam S3 in at 116 grams or 4.1 ounces, and when connected to the mount, the weight increased to 185 grams or 6.5 ounces. As the webcam is magnetic on two sides, you can easily mount the camera vertically or horizontally. My Apple Mac Studio reports the webcam's connection speed as 5 gigabits per second, so as long as you connect the webcam to a Type-A port or Type-C port that supports 5 gigabits per second or higher, the webcam will connect correctly and you'll see a blue light to indicate that it's powered on. So I'm back on camera and I'm back recording with the YoloCam S3. I have moved the webcam a little bit more central. It's blocking my Sony camera, but we're not using that, so that's all good. But hopefully we're a little bit more central now. So this is the part of the video where I do some tests to show what a webcam can and cannot do. Warts and all, good and bad. Now, normally I would start off with a microphone test, but there's no built-in microphone. Now, some of you might be looking for a microphone, that's all good, but right now I am using my normal microphone. I will say, and I did say this earlier, but I have tested dozens of webcams over the years and I hate webcam microphones because I've never used a good one. They're always noisy, they always pick up a lot of noise and interference in the background, but that is something you should bear in mind. Okay, autofocus. So right now, I'm not using the Compose software to adjust the autofocus or anything like that. This is just out of the box what you get, and this is awesome. I mean, I'm not out of focus. You can see me, I'm moving around, in and out. There's no issues. If I put my hand up here, it will focus on my hand like that, take it away, and it will find me. And this kind of phase autofocus is very important. Now, I know this is kind of standard now in webcams that you get this, but I've used a lot of expensive Sony and Panasonic cameras that don't have that. They don't do that as well. My Panasonic S5's autofocus was so bad, I used it on manual focus permanently because it was just unusable. And that was, it was like a £1,000 or pounds or £1,500 camera at the time. So it just shows you that is actually really good. It's quick. I think that, in most situations, people are just expecting you to be in focus. They just want you to be focused on. But it's good to know that if you are talking about something and you hold it up to the webcam, it will focus on it. Lighting. Let's change the lighting. I'll give you an idea as to what this camera can do in low light, because this large sensor here, and it is large for a webcam, this sensor is incredibly large. Okay, we'll take away the green light at the side there. We'll take away the pink light. There we go. And then we'll take away the left, and then all three lights at the front here. So the light at the back, that's manual, so we're not going to go completely dark, but you're not going to record in pitch black either. This gives you an idea as to what the webcam can do in low light. And this is low light. This is, there's a light in the background, but it's not facing me. This is what you would expect if you didn't have a lot of light in the room. Now, if I just put one of my Elgato lights back on, you can see it's showing lots of red marks for me. I think it's because I was out the shower half an hour ago or an hour ago. But if I put these back on, you'll see what you can get. Now, the thing is, there we go. This is the lighting. Now, the thing is about lighting is, depending on how you set your lighting up, good lighting can make a bad camera look great, and bad lighting can make a really good camera look awful. It can really define how the shot looks, and you really need to make sure that you use like your 3-point lighting system when you get things set up, etc. This is something I'm always fighting with as well, because if you've got your camera set up in a particular way, you might have your lighting set up a particular way, but then if you move the lights, move the camera, you kind of have to hit the reset button and start again. But I think this is more what most people would have. This is the type of lighting a lot of people would have if they're just sitting in their office and they put the bedroom light on, the office light on. This is the kind of level of light that you're probably going to get. Now, if you're going to be using the camera for not just Teams, not just Zoom calls, if you're going to be using it for streaming, then that's where it's better to start introducing some colors, and then it just brings the shot together, and it just looks a little bit better when you've got a little bit more background lighting. Granted, I probably should. Well, that's the thing, that the lighting looks a little bit brighter in this webcam than my Sony camera, which again reiterates the point that if you change the cameras or you change the lighting, the whole shot looks different and you have to go back to the drawing board. But I hope this gives you an idea as to what the autofocus and what the low light performance is like, and just give you a kind of longer shot on what this webcam is capable of. So here I am with the YoloLiv Compose software. This is available for Mac Intel, Mac Apple Silicon, and Windows as well. And I'm a little bit compressed here, but the key thing is not me being in the shot. The key thing here is showing you the application itself. So I'll just click down here at the bottom. There are some settings down at the bottom left here. Just it shows you the language, the firmware. You can log in, and there's shortcuts as well for cameras and different things. At the top, we have the camera. So if you're connecting multiple webcams, you would see them listed here. This red button, this will take me away. It'll look all squashed, but that takes me away. And it looks normal, obviously, when you're recording the desktop, but I've kind of used it in OBS to show the whole window. So here we've got parameters, and then we have scenes. And I'm going to go through and just play around with the parameters here, but just be aware that when you customize all these settings and you get it correct and you get it the way that you want it, you can then save it as a scene, and then that scene will be shown here, and you'll see it in this area here. So you can add as many scenes as you want. You might have a scene, for example, for Teams calls, Zoom calls. You might have a scene for, webcam, for game streaming or something. You might have a different one for different types of streaming. Now, there's a little reset button at the top here, which I'm going to be using a lot because I'm going to be messing around with a lot of settings. Okay, I've got the aspect ratio here. I can change it to 9:16. I've also got the frame rate. Now, it's defaulted to 25 Hertz, but I can change it to 30. I can change it to 60 as well. I'll change it to 30 because I'm recording at 30 frames per second. We've got image settings here as well. So you can change the colors to be Sony. And we've got sharpness, we've got contrast, saturation, with DR manual exposure supported. So we've got sharpness here. So you bring it down. When you will be, adjusting all these types of settings, you'd be fighting with your lights as well. So you'd maybe have to turn your lights up or turn your lights down to try and get the right levels. I'm going to reset that so it doesn't look out of place. Focus. So I had it defaulted to continuous autofocus. We can change it to single autofocus, and it obviously changes it. We've got face autofocus as well. You can see it's tracking me now as well. So you've got AFC, AFS, and face. We've got zoom, and right now it's at wide angle, but we can go all the way in. Oh, you can see like I missed a bit shaving there. So yeah, you can zoom all the way in. There's hotkeys there. That's just a shortcut to the hotkeys. AI parameter. This seems to be a feature you have to log in to use, so it's not something I've tried as yet. Then we've got exposure. Now I've used auto exposure, but if I change to manual, you'll see that it does change things a lot. So now if I change the ISO, I can fully control everything. And that's really good. I mean, that's something I do in my own cameras. I'll set the ISO to a particular level. So if I change it to like 500, I think it looks okay there. I can change the shutter speed as well. So it gives you good control. Now, in my own setup, I like to keep the ISO fixed because auto ISO can sometimes get messed up easily if it, something reflects, it changes it, and it doesn't look right, etc. It's just easier to control things and just have everything the same each time. So we've got auto lock there, anti flicker, and we've got EV all the way up to 8, and we can go all the way down as well. Just reset that as well, and then we'll go back to white balance. Go to white balance. So again, I've had it set on auto. If you do manual, you can see the colors are all different now. So I'll set the white balance down low, set it up high. Looks terrible now. I don't know what this is because it's in Chinese. I didn't notice that before actually. I don't know what that setting is. They obviously forgot to translate that one. And then we've got blue offset and red offset. I've always found with webcam software is that a few subtle changes to the ISO and white balance is enough rather than going crazy into a lot of the different settings. I think here, if I was going in and trying to get the perfect shot for my webcam, I would maybe change the white balance. I would maybe change the ISO level as well. And then, just review the focus settings. And beyond that, I probably wouldn't be changing too much. Maybe with the lighting, I would change the contrast and saturation and sharpness a little bit just to get things right. But again, it depends on your lighting. It depends on how you're recording. It depends on your setup, etc. But I do think there's a lot here. I'm not saying this is the best webcam software out there. I have seen some others that are a little bit more in-depth, but I think for most people, they'll be happy with what's on offer here and with what it allows them to do. Because ultimately what this is helping them do is to get the picture that they want, the picture quality that they want in their recording setup. and in their lighting setup. So I hope you've enjoyed this look into the YoloCam S3, what it's about, how much it costs, what it can do, and how you can use the Compose software to change things around. Now, right now, you can probably tell, but right now I am still recording with the YoloCam S3. I'm just using it out of the box. I've reset all of those settings that I had changed. But if I was to go back into it, I would maybe play around with some of the settings. I think autofocus, I'll stick with the continuous autofocus. I don't think the single area autofocus or the face autofocus, maybe the face autofocus, but I think generally I'm happy with the continuous autofocus because it's showing that it just seems to work well. And it's good to know though that you can go into the software and adjust colors if something doesn't look right in the automatic mode. So I've been impressed with it. I really do think it's a fantastic webcam. And I think one of the reasons that I've enjoyed using it over the last month or so is because it's simple. I don't have to do anything with it. I plug it in, it just pops up. I can use it in calls. I can use it in OBS. I don't have to do anything. It doesn't overheat. It's not a fancy webcam, it's for, lots of bells and whistles. It just works. And I do love that about it. In my own setup, I'm obviously not going to use it here. I'll keep using my Sony camera, but I think it could help me in product reviews. Now, if you watch my channel, you'll know that I've got an overhead camera up here, which you'll maybe see up here, up there, overhead camera. So there's my overhead camera. Now, the overhead camera is great, but it doesn't always give you that 3D overview of what you're trying to show. There's a lot of product reviews where I really need to cut to a different angle to show something properly. And that's where I could maybe pop off the action camera here and attach the YoloCam S3 and just position the webcam to the side so that I get a second angle of a particular product. So for me, that's good because it means I don't have to hook up another capture card, etc. I can just hook up that webcam just for occasions where the overhead shot doesn't quite show you something, because you're kind of getting that flat over head view sometimes. That's not always ideal. So for me, that's a good thing for me in my main recording setup. But it's such a simple little webcam. I can just pick it up and I can use it with other computers around the house as well. I think at $199, this is an easy recommendation. So thanks again to YoloLiv for sending this webcam out for review. I've put it through its paces. I've tried to break it, but it doesn't seem to overheat and it doesn't seem to crash, which is what you would expect for UVC. But yeah, it works and it works well. So it's a very easy webcam to recommend. Buy it if you like it. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys. If you get any questions, please do post them down below. As always, do your research, look at some other reviews from other YouTubers about the YoloCam S3. Look at other webcams in the market as well. But I have tested a lot of webcams out in the market and I must admit, I am impressed with this. I love the simplicity. I love the image quality as well. So if you've enjoyed the video, please do give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment, all that good stuff. And until next time, take care.